Hi, it's Lynn from a bypass to a leaner Lynn. I have already made one video and completed it and thought I was done. I was a little bit late. I didn't do it till Friday, but I had held off past Wednesday because I wanted to be able to have my information for my pre-op appointment in with the update, or my pre-op appointment, my post-op appointment, my 6-week post-op appointment that was 1 week late because, well, that's a long story and it's in another video. So if you're interested, you can go look at my last video. But at any rate, I was in the middle of uploading it Friday afternoon and my phone went out, my DSL went out, and I couldn't upload a thing. So, that being said, the reason all of that happened was for the same reason I didn't have power on Friday morning. I live in south central Mississippi, and we had a snowstorm. I woke up Friday morning to about 6 inches of snow. And that is really, really weird for Mississippi, particularly in December. So we were out for a snow day Friday, had no power because all the snow knocked down a lot of the lines, because Mississippi just is not geared to having snowstorms or ice storms or any kind of those cold storms. So at any rate, starting with my spiel, this is Lynn from a bypass to a leader Lynn. I had Roux-en-Y gastric bypass surgery on October 17th, 2017 at Merit Health River Oaks Hospital in Flowood, Mississippi, and my surgeon was Dr. David Carroll. At my highest weight, I was 331 pounds. When I started at the bariatric clinic, I had lost a little bit. I was down to all of 325 pounds. My surgery weight was 279 pounds, point zero, by the way. Last week I came at you at 259.6 pounds, and this week I am 257 pounds, dot zero, and that represents a weight loss of 2.6 pounds this week. I have lost 22 pounds altogether since surgery and 74 pounds from my highest weight. Now, I kind of got to thinking, I'm always figuring out my BMI. And if you look back at one of it was like my first or second video, I tell you that I shrank. And I did. I mean, they measured me, and I've always been 5'3". And she said, "Well, you're 5'1 3/4". And I said, "No, I'm not. I'm 5'3". And she said, "Well, let's measure again." And she measured me. And she says, "It says 5'1 3/4". I had shrunk. So I just go on 5'2", because I just rounded up that little quarter of an inch. I don't figure it makes that much difference. Of course, then when I figured out my BMI again at my highest weight, I ever had a 61 BMI, which absolutely horrified me. But since then, my starting BMI at the clinic was 59, and that was pretty horrifying too. But now my BMI is 47, so that's a 14-point drop in my BMI, which I think is just absolutely awesome. I mean, granted, it's still in the morbid obese range, but it's a way lot lower than it was when I started. So, I'm glad to see those numbers changing. Um, Let me go change over to my notes on what to say today. I've already told you about the snowstorm. One of my NSVs is I have found my collarbone. honestly, I have found my collarbone. You can't see it. I couldn't show it to you, but I can find it. And that's awesome because I was beginning to think I really didn't have a whole lot of bones in my body other than the ones that hurt, because if you can't find them, how do you know they're there? But at any rate, I had my post-op appointment on this past Wednesday, and I will get my notes for that. One of the things that I asked them about was getting counseling. And my problem is that I live in the middle of really nowhere. I'm an hour's drive to Jackson, which is the state capital, and an hour's drive to Hattiesburg, which has got the University of Southern Mississippi, and it's built up. And so those would be the two areas that I could go to. I'm not going to find anybody in this area because there's just not that much there. And anybody that I could find for counseling probably has minimal experience in weight loss counts in, somebody in my situation, weight loss kind of counseling. And so I would have to drive to Hattiesburg or Jackson, which would be fun, but I don't get out of work until after 3. And by the time I drove there, it would be after 4. And so just finding somebody that I could go see is, at a time I can go see them would be extremely difficult. But I really feel, I know, and it took me a long time to come to the realization that I really did have an eating disorder. I was a binge eater. I could eat past full. It didn't, in some ways, I don't know. Sometimes I think I enjoyed being over full. I don't know. It, but if I was stressed out, if my emotions were running ragged, if I was bored, any number of emotions would trigger my eating. And it wouldn't have bothered me so much, but I was a secret eater. Nobody ever knew. Even when my brother was still alive and we lived together, I would go eat in my room so he wouldn't see me eat. And he was morbidly obese, so I don't know why I thought that I had to hide that from him. But I have always hid my eating. When I go out to eat, I don't eat a lot. Or I didn't. I don't eat hardly anything now. So I know that I've got issues and I can already feel a few creeping back into my life. It's like when I clean up after supper and there's a little bit left in the pot, I feel like I have to eat it. Now, I've only done it once or twice, but I have done it. And I'm not hungry. I don't need it. I don't want it. But I eat it anyway. And so I know the problems are still there. Everybody says it. They fix your stomach, they don't fix your brain. And I need to learn how not to resort to those kind of eating tactics, or this is going to be a very temporary weight loss, and I'll just regain. And I feel like counseling would help. So I did ask about that, and I saw the surgeon's nurse practitioner, and she said she didn't know, but that Dr. Carroll would know anybody who kept later hours and such. And by the way, if you notice right there, there's a big bobo. That's where I tried to mandolin off my finger. I was slicing vegetables on my mandolin and I just went a little too far. It smarted, believe me. But at any rate, on and onward and upward. The next thing that I talked to them about was constipation. And basically, the end result of that was I'm doing all I can. She really doesn't want me to take the Dulcolax, and suggested Miralax, but Miralax has never worked for me. And I don't know, it might be different now, but I don't think so. But at any rate, I was taking a stool softener. I stopped stool softener, but I don't anymore. It just really wasn't doing anything. I am taking the Dulcolax every 4 days. I put fiber, a double dose of fiber supplement in my smoothies and my iced coffees and stuff like that. So I'm getting about 30 grams of fiber a day. Um, so she said, I'm taking a probiotic. And she says, I'm really doing about all that I can do for the problem. And it's just going to have to, I guess it's just going to have to be a problem, basically. So what you going to do? I also was concerned about not eating enough. Most days I get around 600 calories, but that Bible that every bariatric clinic gives you, it's always a different variation, but everybody has one. Well, in my Bible, it says I'm supposed to be eating 800 to 1,000 calories a day, and I'm like, I couldn't get there if I tried. Well, I do try, but I can't. I can't eat enough for that. And she said not to worry about it because, I'm still in the early days. And she said that they would know more. They'll do labs at 3 months. And, if I've got deficiencies then they'll worry about it. But, right now I get in my water and I do get in my protein. Actually, I do pretty well on my protein. Sometimes I get well over 80 grams of protein because I do drink the smoothies that they tell me, and I always put a lot of, if I make the smoothie or the smoothies that I make, they're around 37 grams of protein. That's just one. That's if I drink the whole thing. Today I didn't, so I didn't get quite that much. I don't know. My stomach has been kind of upset today, so I don't know what the deal with that is. Um, but at any rate, onward and upward. I did ask about lettuce. I've always heard that lettuce is harder to digest than a lot of other things, and I absolutely love salad. I would like to be able to do things like a lettuce wrap instead of using a tortilla, and I mean, I've got some wraps that are like minimal net carbs and a little higher in protein because of the fiber in them. But, sometimes, seeing as I'm trying to stay under 50 net carbs a day, um, sometimes it gets a little hard to do that if you're going to be eating stuff like that. I would also like to have like a burger, but instead of using the bun, to use lettuce as the bun itself. I've heard of that being done quite successfully, and I could do a turkey burger with lean ground meat, or I've also been getting into the vegetarian burgers, um, like Gardeins, and I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not vegan or vegetarian. I just like them. So if I like them, I'm going to eat them and not worry about what the title might be. Because I also eat chicken and turkey, so definitely not a vegan. And there's nothing wrong with being vegan, but I'm not one. Um, and then I asked her about beef. I have not tried beef yet. And she said I might want to hold off on that if I did to start with ground beef. Um, I'm not a big beef lover, you know, and so it's not a big deal. And I'll probably maybe after the new year, maybe I'll try some hamburger, just for a little variety in my meat horizons. But right now I'm not, I just wondered about it because I've heard beef is a little harder to digest than like turkey or chicken. So I thought I'd ask about that. Um, I also ask her about the malabsorption because, they say that a gastric bypass is both restrictive and malabsorptive. And she said it depends on what you're eating and things like that. And she said that you malabsorb about 20 to 40% of the food you eat. So I guess that really is basically saying you don't get a whole lot of your calories. So if I'm eating 600, I may only be getting 400. That's kind of scary. I don't know. I think it is, but I'm a little strange anyway. I'm a bit of an oddball, I admit it. And I was going to ask about my CPAP, and I forgot to. I think I've got an appointment with my family care physician on the 26th of this month. I guess I'll ask him about it. I've been looking at my data, and I'm not down to 0% apnea. I'm averaging about zero point 0.4 to zero point 0.6 episodes, so I'm still not, I'm still having, I guess, still having apnea issues. And it really doesn't bother me. I've used a CPAP for years and years and years. So, it's kind of but if I could get off of it and not have to sleep with something slapped on my face, that would be nice also. um, and that's about all with that. I did have one. I mean, it's just something exciting. It's not really, I guess it is kind of weight related because I was trying to order clothes because I'm shrinking and I needed a smaller size. And, but I went on Kohl's because I always get emails from them. And I found 5 shirts that I really liked. And they were on sale, and the total price was like, it was 86 or $87 and change. And I thought, well, that's really not bad for 5 shirts, or 5 blouses, and 2 of them were sweatshirts. So I thought, that's a pretty good deal. And I was going to order them. Well, then it turns out I had $15 Kohl's cash. So that was $15 left. And then there was like 2 or 3 deals that I clicked on. And by the time I was done, I got 5 shirts for 36 bucks and free shipping. I thought I had done a deal. I never get deals like that. If I find a 50% off rack at the store, guess what? It will not be in my size. And it doesn't matter what size I am, it won't be in my size. I couldn't find a deal if my life depended on it. And I was so pleased with that. Just something exciting to perk up your life. At any rate, I thought this one would be shorter, but obviously it's not shorter than the last one. Let me see if I need to tell you anything else. I think that's it. That's all I have to say for this week. I'm wishing you all a blessed week. Um, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell so you'll get notifications and hit the thumb that you like the video. So I'll be ever present on the internet or the YouTube anyway. And I would like to thank my new subscribers. It's so exciting to see your numbers growing. Um, just hard to believe that I would have, and I don't know how many there are exactly because I haven't had internet for several days. So, but at any rate, I really appreciate all of you. Have a very, very blessed week. I love all of you. Bye.